to get your textbooks for a discount price. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video that I've wanted to film literally since 2018. I've had this information since 2016, so I'm so glad that I finally got to sit down and do it. I wanted to film it during July, that way I could post it in August to get you guys prepared for your next college semester and how to get your textbooks for very cheap, as well as how to possibly sell them. A lot of these tips and tricks with these websites or methods can be used to find your textbooks for a good price, but they also can be used to sell some of your textbooks as well. So keep that in mind throughout the whole video. So let's get into how to find textbooks for a decent price. I have not been in college since probably, what was it, 2019? Yeah, summer of 2019 I decided to call it quits, and then shortly after that my dad passed away, so it was actually really good timing just because of everything that was going on. So I don't know how accurate this information is still to this day. I did look up some of these websites and they look like they're still pretty good, so I'm hoping that all this information is still pretty much the same. Again, I was given this information in 2016, so just be aware in case anything that I say is not factual to this day. I try to do my research as much as I can, but I have no clue. And no, this isn't real. I sewed this on, so yeah, take it how you will. One of the first things that you could do to find textbooks for a really discounted price is you can do ebooks, which is essentially electronic textbooks. One website you can go to is gen.lib.rus.ec, and I will have all the links to everything linked down below. That way you guys can click them very easily in case anything that I'm saying does not make any sense. So I will have that link listed right here for you guys. http://gen.lib.rus.ec/. Some bring it down to a discount or are free, depending on what you look at. Another really good website is Slug Books. So what you'll do when you go onto this website is you'll type in the ISBN number in the search field, or you'll type in the title of the book, and then that way you'll be able to find it. And then usually what Slug Books does is it'll populate like this website, and this website, and it'll show you all the prices for the different websites that you can pick and choose which one that you want to go look at and see, one, if it's the right book, the right version, and also if it is the cheapest price compared to everything on there. Another one is going to be Bigwords, bigwords.com. Personally, I've never used that one, but I assume it's the same thing. Another great website is Chegg. I've actually sold textbooks and bought textbooks off there, so I highly recommend Chegg. It's the exact same thing, ISBN number, or it's going to be the title of the book, and that's how you're going to find it. Same thing with Amazon. You can do the exact same thing to find the books from Slug Books, Chegg, and I'm wondering the other websites as well. You could type in the title and or the ISBN number, and you'll be able to find the book as well there. So this is like a digital textbook. Also, a good other thing too is to get digital textbooks. So those websites help you find like physical books, and sometimes I think a couple of those, I think Slug Books might lead you to also digital textbooks as well. So having like a Kindle or an iPad to be able to look at your book, sometimes the digital textbook is actually cheaper than the paperback, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But also check with your teachers. Sometimes you're not supposed to use ebooks, so you really need to make sure. And sometimes with the e-textbooks, what you could do is save money by getting the e-textbook because it's cheaper, and then if you need to take notes or do things like that, just print them off. Depending, sometimes your school allows you a certain amount of pages you can be able to print. I think ivytech gave us like $5 for free to be able to print physically like at the actual school, so you might be able to take advantage of that and print off some of those pages to be able to highlight and take notes on. But I know that like iPads and Kindles and things like that you can also highlight as well. Also, I want to mention that my previous supervisor at one of my jobs in 2016 did give me this list of all these textbooks when I was telling her I was trying to go to pharmacy school and things like that. She kindly emailed me and gave me a lot of this information, so thank you, Kirsten. You really did put me on to a lot of this stuff, so you're the bomb. One really good tip that she had was wait until the second week of class if you can, or email your teachers ahead of time and ask them, hey, what's the book that we'll be needing, what's the ISBN number, the version, all that stuff, and usually the teachers will be able to give it to you. And or you can also wait until the second week of class because you'll have a much better measure if you're actually going to use the textbook or not. Sometimes teachers say that you need it, and then as you go on through the class you realize you really don't need it. I had one teacher who, so the syllabus, and prior to being in the class it told us to get the textbook, but then when we actually showed up to the class she would just print off the pages that we needed, and we actually didn't need the textbook for the lab portion. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. Or sometimes professors will will give you a grace period of 2 weeks to get your textbook, because they know that sometimes like financial aid doesn't offer it, or financially you just can't get it in enough time, or financial aid just doesn't come in time. And one of the good tips is she said that she didn't buy a single textbook one of her semesters because she actually found PDF files in macro and micro economics, and then also her intro to health informatics management class, and she only had to buy one chapter because she couldn't find it on Google. So that's another thing as well. I also had a friend in one of my chemistry classes who told me that she did all her research, but she went literally onto Google and either she typed in the ISBN or she typed in the actual title to it and then the version or whatever, and literally a PDF file popped up. She printed it all and boom, she literally had a textbook for free. Put it in a 3-punch hole binder and called it a day and had herself a brand new book for free. Also, Quizlet, I know that they have pretty good like information on there. Sometimes they have the textbook answers, so take advantage of that because I sure did. But also sometimes they have like the textbook actually like written information. It is hit or miss. It's literally, I think, people that post it. So just know that it's kind of like a Wikipedia, like it's a person behind it that isn't specialized necessarily in that area. Another really good idea is to also check within your like library or whatever your community like billboard is. I know that like when you walked into Ivy Tech, where the main common center is, in between the advisors area and like the, what do you call that, the office? God, it's been literally so long since I've been in college. But in between the office area and then also the like commons where you can go and sit down and do things like study and whatnot, there's a big bulletin board and there's like things going on and whatnot. But usually if you look close enough, there will be little signs on there to say, hey, I'm selling this book, here's my number, and you can have like little peel off things or whatever to get the person's phone number to hit them up to buy the book. So again, you could sell your book this way and you could try to find books that you're needing in that area as well. Same thing with that, you could also email your professors and say, hey, do you know if there's a list of any previous students from your classes beforehand? 1, are you allowed to give it to me? And 2, can you do that? That way I can reach out to them to see if I can buy their books from them. Because honestly, if somebody would have did that to me, I would have sold it in a heartbeat. I would have sold it for super cheap because it was really hard to get some of my books, sell them or do anything with them. I just pretty much had to donate them. I just took them to Ivy Tech's library because I was like, well, I'd rather do that than anything. So also you could check with the library or the tutor center to see, 1, if they have the book in there, and then you just spend time in there because sometimes they don't let you take it out, and then you could go in there and actually read and do your homework there, but you just can't leave physically with the book. Or you could see, you know, can I make copies, or hey, are there any extras that people have donated that you don't need, and then I can either A, have it for free or buy it off you guys. So that's another tip as well. Another really good thing is renting. So you can either rent through these websites, Chegg, Slug Books, all those things, Amazon that I mentioned. It saved me a lot of money in college when I was getting books as well, because some of them were just super cheap to rent for a semester. And usually on there it'll say like, if you know, if you're looking in August, okay, return by January the 12th or some type of date like that. They give you an allotted time because they know that 1, you have a whole semester that you need to use the book, and 2, sometimes right after the semester you can't get it right to them, so they, you know, give you a little bit of time frame. Another thing is you could also look at different versions of a book. Now this is risky, so be careful. So say your class needs version 5, but the library or wherever you're gonna buy has version 4. Sometimes they're exactly the same, and sometimes there's a slight difference, sometimes there's a big difference. So just be very careful. But I know one time I could not find a book for the life of me, so I bought the lower version and it actually worked out perfectly fine. So that's another thing as well. But be very careful, this is risky. Again, you could buy these used books, so it's the same as like buying rented books off, you know, Chegg, Amazon, Slug Books, or a personal friend. You could look online at those websites. You could look on Facebook, the cork board, like I said, maybe reaching out to your professor, asking friends, making a post, something like that. But used books are usually going to be a lot cheaper. Another thing too is you can actually go to the bookstore. I know at Ivy Tech, since online books started to take over and the bookstore actually wasn't selling, they started to price match. So if you see one on Amazon for a certain price, you can go in there and say, hey, here's the price, and usually they'll price match you. So that's another idea that you could do as well, and you could get basically a brand new book for the price that you were gonna get. The bookstore may also have used books as well, so definitely check that out. Again, with Google, sometimes you don't need the whole book. Sometimes you could just Google a few chapters and that's all you need. Sometimes teachers will do their own curriculum and then they'll take like a couple questions from this page in this book on random chapters, like not even that many, and most of it is their curriculum with a few things from the book. So that's also something to keep in mind as well. You could also do free trials, and then if it's possible and your electronic device will let you, you could try to screenshot them or take another device and take pictures of them and then print them, or obviously save them in like an album on your phone, and then boom, you have it as well. So if you're really smart and you have like a 7-day free trial and maybe all you do in that class, like I said, the first 2 weeks you can kind of gauge to see what the curriculum is going to be and how they're going to do things. Again, you're not going to always know, but sometimes you can figure it out. So what you could do is screenshot, and then okay, we only do the chapter reviews in all the chapters, and then screenshot all those. Boom, once the free trial's done, you literally just did that for free, you know. Again, tutor center, college library, and maybe your public library will also have these same resources. Again, sometimes they'll let you loan them, sometimes you have to stay inside there, sometimes they'll let you print, but these are all great options to find them. Sometimes libraries, I don't know if the college libraries do this, but they'll have like rummage sales and they'll get rid of old books. They may have your book in there, you never know. I mean, it's very unlikely compared to, you know, all these other options, but it's still an option. Also, you could check Goodwill. I know that that's like a hit or miss, but say you're going to a community college like I did in Ivy Tech in my hometown. What if right when the semester has ended, or in between there, or right before the semester is going to start, what if somebody donates their books to Goodwill? I mean, I donated mine to the library, but if the library didn't take them, I was going to take them to Goodwill, and boom, now you can get a textbook that you need for cheap. And especially if it's going to be in the area that you're at, you're more than likely going to find somebody's leftovers. If that makes sense. Again, with the tutor center, the college library, and the public library, you could also ask the people there if they have any resources or know of any places that sell these certain books for cheap or what to do. Sometimes those people will just really help you out and give you the best resources for that information. I know when I went to tutoring center, they didn't really have any notes for accounting, and I can't remember. I talked to her about sending them to her, and I might actually call them sometime soon and be like, hey, did I ever send those to you? Do you want me to? But we talked about, hey, let me give you my accounting notes. That way you can use them to help tutor other students. So you never know what stuff they'll know or what stuff that other students have sent them or gave them that can help you out. Another really good tip is you can create a study group with the people in your class or friends that you know that have taken that class, or just friends that you know in general that know somebody else as well. And then you don't even have to buy a book, you can just use theirs, and every time you're in the study group, you're literally looking at their book. Again, you could also, with that, copy a friend's books. If you know you're going to do the chapter reviews, okay, let me use your book and take a copy of it, and I'll only copy the chapter reviews. That way I don't have to buy a book and you already bought one, so you might as well let me. Some people are a little stingy, but usually people will be nice and they'll let you do it. Especially if you start a study group, because then you're also helping because you guys are studying together and trying to pass the test together, and you know how that goes. So make friends on the first day, and make friends with somebody who has a book. That way you can get buddy-buddy with them and then be like, hey, would you mind if I actually copied some of the pages in your book? You know, my financial aid didn't come through. I can't afford it right now, blah, 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 blah. You know, you could say whatever you want, but again, if you make friends with somebody with a book, chances are they might let you copy it, and then boom. You may have to copy every single page, but say you're in the study area where the copier's at, you just kindly go over there while they're working on something else, and boom, copy, 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 copy. You may have to pay a little bit more, but still, it's another option that you could do. Or they may be kind enough to let you take it home and copy them all, as long as you'll give it back to them. They may need your phone number because they're not about to let you get away with taking their textbook and not giving it back. So make sure you're also a good person to give it back. Okay, so that's pretty much all the information I have for the tidbits that I got, but another great thing is I have this little cheat sheet that Ivy Tech gave me quite some time ago, so I'm not sure if the passwords on the website still work. Again, I'll have everything linked down below with the password and whatnot as well, but from these specific content partners, sometimes also in the front of the book, it'll say, okay, first 3 chapters available here, blah, 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 blah. But it looks like this is like Ivy Tech specific. So here we have include ED courses for Cengage. It is going to be www.cengagesites.com/ivytech. Username is going to be ivytech. Password is going to be success. Again, I'll have everything linked down below. McGraw-Hill is going to be mhlearningsolutions.com/ivy_tech/. Their username is going to be student. The password is going to be student123. And then we also have Norton Titles. So there's a couple different ones on here. No username or password is needed. So for the field guide, guide to writing with readings, 3E, and then another one with readings, 4E, and exercises, 2E. There's like 3 different websites, maybe a few more, I don't know. They kind of clumped it all together. So I'll go ahead and link that all down below for you guys as well for Norton. And then for Pearson, it's gonna be www.pearsoncustom.com/in/ITCC_ebooks. You're gonna click the sign on the right. You're gonna enter the following username, Pearson's Chaps, that's CHAPS, password, Pearson Chaps 3. And then once you're logged in, you'll have 3 options. You're gonna search by the course number in the upper right hand corner. You're gonna click the Onsite link on the left hand side of the page, and then you'll also have a course of prefixes appear. Click on the appropriate prefix, which is probably like the 3E, the 4E, whatever, and then click on the appropriate course number. Scroll through all courses / textbooks covers in the middle of the screen and click the one that's correct for your course. So again, I will have all this information linked down below as well for you guys. That way you guys can have access to free chapters or free whatever this is, so that way you guys don't have to pay for workbooks, or you just have more access. All right guys, that's gonna conclude this textbook video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've wanted to make it for so long, and it's been so long since I've been in college that this was a really kind of a hard video to film because it was a brain refresher. I've forgotten a lot. I don't even know the terminologies for the administration in the office, so I mean, that should just show you, but I still wanted to give you guys all this information. I saved all this paperwork just in case anyone ever hit me up, I ever saw somebody asking questions. I mean, people literally post things on Facebook, and I'll literally message them and be like, hey girl, here's this, this, and that. Like, I just like to help people, so again, that's kind of why I made this video, and a lot of these helped me in college, so I just want to help you guys. If you guys like these types of videos, make sure you get a big thumbs up. Comment down below. I answer all my comments, and let me know what type of video you'd like to see next. I have some that I planned and that are in the works, but I would like to hear your guys' opinions because it really does help me out, and it lets me know, okay, who needs help with what, and what information do I have, and if I don't have it, how can I outsource it, and who do I know that knows the information that I can give it to the people. Again, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe down below. Hit that bell for your notifications, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!
Heard something.